Welcome to You Are the Answer, the podcast that helps you reconnect with the most powerful healer you know, your own body. I'm Naomi Mills, chiropractor, healthcare professional, and believer in the natural intelligence within us all. In this podcast, I explore what it means to trust your body, decode its signals, and take ownership of your well-being without quick fixes or health fads. Whether you're just beginning your journey or deep in transformation, I'm here to guide you back to the truth. You are not broken. You are the answer. Okay, well, it seems really important to start this first official podcast episode with an important truth, and that is that you are not broken. In the West, it's definitely a vision that we hold for ourselves. And when I have this idea of feeling broken, I almost think it's like you've dropped a hairdryer or a kettle, like something on the floor, and it's smashed into a million pieces. And there's all of these little broken bits of plastic and wiring and buttons, and you wouldn't even know where to begin to put it back together. So I think if we come from this premise of brokenness, there doesn't actually feel to be a lot of energy there to start the repair, because with which part are you going to begin? Now, in Eastern culture, you have this concept of already being whole, of you already being perfectly formed like a jewel or a diamond, a multifaceted stone, perfectly able to let the light in and let the light out. And what goes on in life as we pick up our physical, chemical and emotional stresses as we go through life since birth, and all of the various challenges that we encounter in our physical body and in our mental selves, these facets, they get a little bit cloudy. Maybe they're a bit dirty or grimy. And so the work on finding yourself or healing yourself, or whatever term it is that you like to use, is simply a case of picking up your polishing cloth and shining up one of your facets, one by one, little by little, with whichever one you fancy starting with first. And I don't know about you, but that feels actually a lot more doable to me. And it's certainly how I hold my view of my clients in both my clinical work and in my retreat work. This idea that by maybe coming to have their spine adjusted, or doing a meditation, or coming to do a fire walk, or any of the self-empowerment exercises that I do with people, or maybe it's just reading the book, or going to do something that just makes you feel fun and connected, like dancing around the kitchen, like as a young child. All of these small actions that are creating this healing parasympathetic states in our body is you polishing your facets. And before long, or before too long, you're going to find you're able to absorb much more life and love and joy, and you're going to express that too. And doesn't that feel just that bit more manageable than being broken? And here's my second really important premise to start with. You cannot fix a human being. It is impossible to fix a human, because we're always alive. We are always undergoing physical, chemical, and emotional stresses. Life is always happening for us. And so this idea of a fix is like a stuck state. I almost said a fixed state, because it's something that's not dynamic and changeable. And humans are so dynamic and so changeable and resilient. And so it's great. You don't need a fix. And were you to repair, heal, thrive, improve yourself, that doesn't come from things that go on outside of you. All of those are changes that happen on the inside. And so through the journey on this podcast, and whether you engage with the website and have a look at some of the resources on there that we will go into in the first couple of episodes, because I really want you to get a sense of who you are and where you are in your health right now, any changes that happen are going to come from inside of you. So you don't need fixed, because you're not broken. You are an ever-changing, dynamic being that is responsible for your own health and healing. And I really hope that that feels empowering and exciting and makes you feel curious, rather than scared or powerless, because you are absolutely the opposite of that. In fact, all of the power for you having the type of life and health that you desire comes from inside of you. And I want to share with you today briefly a story of when this really challenged me as a concept. And it was when my daughter was just 10 days old and I'd had an amazing natural home birth. I was breastfeeding. I'd done everything as sort of by the book of nature as I possibly could. And yet I began to be really quite unwell. And eventually I was diagnosed by some incredible healthcare professionals with not one, but 2 pulmonary embolisms. So 2 out of the 4 valves in my heart were blocked by blood clots. And there was absolutely nothing that they could do about it. There wasn't a way of somehow removing these clots or taking that danger away. All they could do was thin my blood enough to allow my body's own processes to break those clots down and for me to be okay. And so when you are somebody like myself whose day job it is to say, trust your body and your body is always protecting you, and all of these things are true, but being faced with something which is very life-threatening to a lot of women who experience it, that was a real test of my own belief in the wisdom of my body. And actually, what a time to have that when I've got this brand new life and I'm looking forward to all of this potential and getting to know her while being faced with a very real near-death experience. And so actually, while there was that fear or that threat of something going wrong, I managed to find a lot of peace. And I don't think I was really that scared because I have this understanding of the human body. And I knew beyond doubt that the worst had happened, I hadn't died, and therefore my body was going to heal itself. And that's exactly what it did. And that's what I want to do with you through these podcasts, is to help you develop that trust in yourself again. And more than that, to start to notice and hear the signals from your body and to understand what your body is always trying to tell you. I actually felt horrifically ill and somehow was trying to tell myself, oh, that's just how you feel when you've had a baby. When deep down I knew that actually lots of my clients over the years had given birth and even come in the next morning with their newborns, and that what I was experiencing wasn't usual. So it's about having that deep connection with your physical body and that trust, and allowing the signals not just to come from our brain to our body where we're just like, I'm ignoring that headache right now or that tension in my shoulders and I'm pushing it to the back of my mind, but maybe inviting in those signals, those stories from the body, what's going on with your digestion, your sleep, your focus, your concentration, and then asking, what is it doing for me? What is it trying to teach me? And so I want to talk to you about client stories, personal stories, insights, things I've learned from other people, and try and put it together in a way that feels really relevant and easy to digest for you. And the thought I'm going to leave you with today is the natural cleverness that built your body in the womb still lives in you today. It's a quote from my book, You Are the Answer, Why It's Time to Trust Your Body. And it's just remembering that there's such a huge amount of intelligence within the human body. So much so, in fact, you can grow an entire human being, as I did. And that intelligence is there acting for us all the time, not just to grow babies, but to heal and to do all the things that's required for your body to live and thrive. And so if you can start seeing your symptoms as signals rather than something to be avoided, you're going to be opening the door to a completely different relationship with your health. One that's not ruled by fear, but one that's grounded in trust and partnership. That's what I wanted to share with you today. This reminder that you do not need fixing because you are not broken. And in reality, your body is always giving you the signals and the pointers that you need to go around and polish these facets of your whole beautiful, wonderfully imperfect self. And that once you start to frame your life and your health through that lens of the body and brain being in partnership, you will discover an entire new level of well-being. And I can't wait to discover it with you. Have a brilliant day, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me on You Are the Answer. If today's episode sparked something in you, share it with someone you care about and leave a review to help others find their way back to their body too. For more tools, inspiration and resources to support your journey, head to www.youaretheanswer.co.uk. And until next time, stay connected, stay curious, and remember, you are the answer, and you always have been.